Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. The time is just after midnight, and today date is 7th of the 11th, 2012. I'd like to let you know about a few more things. Recently, as I was checking my Facebook, I realized, as I mentioned in my second video, that Camilla Hudson has actually removed her picture from the Facebook. And there was also a background. There's a female background. When you're a female, obviously at the Facebook there's a female background. When you're a male, there's a male background when you remove your picture. When clearly you'll be able to see on my second video it was a female background. After she moved her picture, that's actually turned to a male background. I don't know the reason, but I believe they possibly like to deny the whole thing and say, oh, it wasn't even her on the Facebook and this and that. This is one thing. Other thing is, I would like to let you know about how MI5 actually operates in certain ways. When the MI5 is actually torturing someone, they must discredit that person so nobody will believe that person. Imagine you going to the police station and saying, oh, all these things are happening to me, and no one does anything about it. In my particular case, what they have done was they made it out as I have some sort of a sexual problem or a psychological problem and a psychological problem, sexual problem and a psychological problem. How they do that, and how they did that, it was absolutely barbaric. It was done in the most horrific way, unfortunately, due to a lot of sexual natures that this and a lot of sexual things that they did to me. I don't like to put that online, but I'll just let you know. Like, for instance, imagine there was another gentleman, the hacker at the WikiLeaks, which is Julia Jones, or I don't know if I pronounce his name right or not, which he's in London and he claimed refugee in some embassy. The similar things that happened to him, two girls are actually claimed to be raped by him in order to get him extradited. So rape thing and sexual thing is quite a big thing in Europe, and a lot of things will get done for that. So in my particular case, in order to discredit me totally so nobody would believe me, they isolate me totally. They stop people from coming to me. I was stopped having a normal relationship, normal life. They made it out as I have a sexual problem, made it out as I have a psychological problem. They're actually telling me now, if you take us to the court and if you have any evidence, we're going to say, oh, he was going to kill somebody, he's a terrorist, and that's why we did all this to him. But if you don't have much evidence, we say, oh, he has a psychological problem, and everything that he says is not true. Oh, he's crazy, this and that. This is what they're actually telling me at the moment. I am receiving threats from people who are ex-members of like PKK, which is a Kurdish non-terrorist organization worldwide and is recognized by UK as well. This is what they're telling me. I'm receiving threats. I'm under a psychological way of torture by the Iranian group that has been hired and potentially has been given a lot of money in my case in order to do many things which I would be mentioning at the court, especially the gentleman who lives at my place, gives a lot of news and is spying on me, named Muhammad. It is against the Data Protection Act to give all personal details of someone to the third party. All my personal details has been given to this Iranian group. Mr. Muhammad also had all this personal details. He is working on my brain 24/7, taking a piece out of me. Ha 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 ha, you're crazy, you have to take medication in order to be able to perhaps take that money, which they're having a lot of conversation with Mr. Potkin and others in terms of that. I'm also struggling at the moment absolutely struggling the financial wise. I'm in a massive terrible situation. They forcing me to go back to Iran. I mean, this Mr. Muhammad and other people, as I mentioned, they have arranged my execution, they keep that money, and they're forcing me to go back to Iran. Every day he comes to me, oh, you should go back to Iran, you should go back to Iran, I'm a member of the Iranian Secret Service, and this and that, which is a terrible thing to do. I mean, he's 24/7 on my brain, laughing at me, taking a mick out of me, ha ha ha, we're gonna keep all that money, this and that. This is the sort of the things they do to get into your brain. You know, imagine you telling someone, I mean, 24/7 they have a psychological problem. Potentially they will end up having a psychological problem. I would like to tell you a little bit about how I was asked questions under torture when they were drugging me. For instance, if you look into my eyes right now, this is how they used to do it. For instance, they keep doing that, and they ask you questions. Oh, have you been in Germany before? Oh, what did you do with your uncle? Oh, are you gonna do this? Are you gonna do that? Do you know that person? Oh, do you think my eye's going funny, mate? Do you think my eye's going funny? Do you think my eye's going funny, mate? Do you think, oh, this, do you think I'm doing something funny, mate? Do you think I'm doing something funny, mate? Yeah, by the way, what did you do there? Oh, what happened there? Do you think I'm doing something funny, mate? Do you think this pen is something funny? Do you think there's something in this pen? Oh, yeah. And this is how they ask you questions. And they tell you, when you say, oh, do you think my eye's going funny? Do you see something funny? They tell you, oh, you have a psychological problem. I'm normal. I'm not doing anything. Look. I'm not doing anything. Do you think my eye's going funny? You have a psychological problem. This is how they do, and imagine they do that people to you all the time. Certain people in the street, certain people of your friends, they were asking you questions. Sometimes you're on drugs, sometimes you're not, and they always do things like that. Many of it I would mention at the court in order to make you believe you have a psychological problem. Unfortunately right now, I am again on the alarm. Oh yeah, as I have to move out of this property that I have, this property is completely bogged up. Due to financial problems, I will not be able to hire anybody to find that out, and they have already stole a lot of evidence from me. Most of my evidence, the recordings, the laptops, the hard drives, everything which I will mention to the court, disturbing me 24/7. All the government organizations are actually giving me a runaround. Nobody gives me the right information. They basically give you a runaround. They all know what's been happening. I know the police knows for a fact about my kidnapping. MI5, they're the one who's done it. They know about the kidnapping. The government knows about that. The actual government knows about that. Everyone knows about everything they have done to me, but unfortunately there is no action taking place at this moment of time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm under massive psychological torture by the people around me that have been hired. I'm under a massive amount of pressure, under a lot of financial problems, to be quite honest, massive, horrific way. And this is a terrible situation. Imagine you trying to kill that guy, and after 3 years, and then you tell the guy, go and work yourself. You have to work yourself. Go and work. I'm the guy who had jobs, who had pay slips, who had work, who had cars, who had a normal life, and that all has been taken away from me. The opportunity to study and go in university, the opportunity that I would ever be able to have a normal relationship, opportunity. I cannot even sleep at nights. I wake up at night, sometimes I scream, sometimes I start talking at night, I sweat a lot, I have a problem with sleeping sometimes, I get a lot of flashback for the times that actually the things that have done to me. A lot of pressure and psychological pressure on me at this moment of time. Unfortunately, the Iranian group that has been hired, making my life really hard and devastating at this moment of time, and they have been doing for a while as well. These are the things that are actually happening. Then how they discredit you. For instance, you go to the police station, or you call the police, come at your house, and then you tell the police this is happening. They look at each other like that. Really, mate? Have you ever been sectioned, mate? What do you do, mate? What is your job? Oh, you don't work, do you? And they look at each other in this very racist sort of a look away like that. Ooh, like that. And then they look at each other and then, okay, don't worry, we will text you the crime reference number. We text you, you don't worry. This is how they exactly do. And these police officers are mainly from MI5 as well. They know exactly what they're doing. They're just doing this to do your heading. They burn you from inside. They torture you inside out. The tortures I received in the street sometimes, in my environment sometimes, they were so horrific. My treatment I used to receive from these people, at many points they used to use people, little kids, as I mentioned previously. They use a lot of people from members of BMP to make sure they get the maximum level of pleasure and torture towards me. The way I was getting tortured in the street and harassments and everywhere I went was so horrific. Sometimes I used to lock myself at home for a period of week, for a period of 5 days, for a period of 2 weeks even. That I was scared to go out. People showing me guns. Oh, you are a fucking rapist. You are a fucking rapist. Oh, this, oh, that. They attack you. They do this, they do that. And they show you things. They show you a knife. They have a gun here. We're gonna fucking shoot you. We're gonna fucking shoot you. You're a fucking foreigner. You this, you that. He's not English. He's not English. These are the type of things they'll actually do to get in your head. And if you I don't know if if you're watching this, you're some sort of a doctor, you came from some sort of a third world country, and you imagine things like that does not happen in Britain. Things like that does happen in Britain. I was a victim of it. So if somebody comes and tell you something like that happening, don't just think the guy is actually insane. These things are actually happening, and this is how they torture you till you leave the country, torture you to do something, torture you to do something else, many things, provoking you in order for you to do something, in order to be able to lock you up, or in order to be able to put a bullet in your head, and many other things which they have done. And unfortunately they're doing again still at this moment of time. Sometimes they're doing it in a very clever way, because I believe there are other organizations on my case actually watching the whole thing. Yes, this is must been what's actually happening, unfortunately. And as I said time and time again, police destroy CCTVs, witnesses get disappeared, destroy evidence, just don't even care about you, they don't even want to know about you, they don't give you the information, they mess your paperwork around. This is the type of things they do, ladies and gentlemen. The people are actually behind the scene. They're trying to help me. One thing I'm sure of, none of them are actually Iranian. They definitely not Baha'is or Jews, and that for that I can't bet my life on. Not that I have anything against them, but they had something against me to carry out these horrific things to me. The only person I have in my side, I believe, is God. I'm believing God, because sometimes certain things will actually happen in your life that you feel God. And ladies and gentlemen, in period of 3 years I went through all these. You can get lucky once, twice, 3 times, not for 3 years every time. I can assure you, at least 20 or 30 occasions they tried to kill me. Sometimes they went right to the point of killing me, they changed their mind. Sometimes they went right to the point of killing me, I managed to escape. Sometimes other people have stopped them. Many things happen. The people are actually behind the scene from government. Time to time I believe I speak to certain one of them. They're the educated and lively family people, nice English people that are still out there, and they know exactly what's been happening to me. They're allocated from certain parts of the government. You know, some very educated, nice people, something that maybe we have in our mind, that when we watch the English movies, that if we see a very nice spoken and educated person on that part, there's a sort of people that are actually helping me. I'd like to thank them. And this is what I would like to say, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna ask for anybody to call me or give me advice, because nobody has done so. I hope that things get better, but the way it looks like, I don't know. I'm just having hope. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.